Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Norm Macdonald Live, episode number 2. And tonight we have the great Tom Green on the show. We will be asking him questions, interviewing him. I will be interviewing him along with my trusty sidekick, Adam Eget.
It's Eget.
Eget.
Yeah,
He's right. Yeah. Adam Eget.
How are you, Norm?
Good, man. How's your Easter?
It's fantastic. Couldn't be better.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, I thought the show was great last week. Our first show, Super Dave Osborne.
Amazing.
It was hilarious.
Unbelievable.
Hysterical.
Unbelievable. And we're not the only ones that think that. I have some pretty good news. The critics loved us. They couldn't get enough of it.
All right.
And more importantly, we officially are the #1 podcast on iTunes. So not
anything
too
about
shabby.
that. But I will tell you about critics.
What?
You can't get wrapped up in that kind of thing because critics, you know what I mean? They're just one guy's opinion.
Right.
That's just one guy's opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like what I like about the computer is it's interactive. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't matter if you don't. I didn't either before today. But what it means is that the people that are watching, they can post their own reviews of the show.
Absolutely.
On the web page.
Yeah, of course.
So what I did is, and because that's what I care about. I don't care about Owen Gleiberman.
Right, that's not who we do this for.
I care about the folks at home.
Right.
And so Daniel Kellison gave me a big bunch of comments. These are comments.
Oh, cool.
From the internet.
Oh, great.
People that listen to this. And I haven't read any of these. I'm just going to read them.
Oh, I can't wait to hear some. Let's hear some.
I'm going to read them live because this is a live show. I don't want to do pre-stuff.
No.
Do you like pre-stuff?
No. Who likes pre-stuff?
All right. So do you want to hear one?
Of course.
This first one is from MonkFan72. I love these guys' names.
Yeah, that guy likes Monk.
That guy likes Monk. He says, I love this podcast. It was great to see Norm Macdonald back, and Super Dave was the perfect choice as first guest. Lose the douchebag.
He's talking about me.
Well, we don't know if he's talking about you.
He's clearly talking about me.
He is talking about you. But listen, it's not bad news. It further elucidates my point, actually, because let's suppose this guy were Richard Corliss or Pauline Kael. I don't know if she's still working.
I don't think so, but I get it.
That would hurt, but this is just one.
Trust me.
This is just one person's opinion. But I have hundreds of other people.
All right, yeah, you're right. It's one guy, he's entitled to his opinion,
sure.
And that's fine, whatever.
And mostly they like the show.
Well, good. Well, let's hear another one then.
All right.
Let's hear another one.
What's the deal with that fucking douchebag? Well, that was about you.
I mean, are there any good ones?
I'll look.
Okay.
Not good. Okay. Let me see here. Ooh.
What is it? Is it a good one?
It's not good at all. I found one.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a positive one. Thoroughly enjoyed it from top to bottom.
Great.
Blinky91 says. A sparkling exchange between veteran funny man Norm Macdonald and comedy legend Super Dave Osborne. One minor problem. The set.
Oh.
It's just too distracting. Why are there so many clocks? We're not tuning in to see what time it is in Hong Kong. We're tuning in to listen to comedians doing comedy. Plus some douchebag, I don't know who he was, but I like to punch him right in the fucking face. Okay.
I mean,
we don't need to know what the people think.
Well, no, I mean, it's hard, Norm. It's hard. I'm not used to this.
You know why? Because you're just new to the whole
I think that's part of it.
Show business thing.
Oh, yeah, that.
You know what it reminds me of?
Huh.
I read in a book one time about Saturday Night Live, which I was on.
Yeah.
And when it started out, Chevy Chase retired, then Bill Murray came on. Mm-hmm. Nobody liked Bill Murray.
Nobody liked Bill Murray?
Unfathomable today to think that.
Shocking.
But they did not like him because he was new. You understand?
Well, I get it. I mean, that makes sense.
So what he did, it was very famous. He went on TV.
Yeah.
He talked right to the camera, right?
Yeah.
And he introduced himself to the folks.
Did it work?
Said who he was. Of course it worked.
Oh, yeah, it's Bill Murray.
He's Bill Murray. He's probably the most successful guy ever to come out of the franchise.
Maybe you're right.
So why don't you just look at your camera
All right.
and tell the folks who you are.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
See what works. I'm Adam Eget. I work at the world famous Comedy Store. I'm the manager over there. Before that, I was a manager at the Tempe Improv, and I don't know what I'm doing, I'll be honest, and I'm not an actor, I'm not a comedian, but I'm just going to try my best, and I'm going to do the best I can, and I hope the people watching at home will give me a chance to I don't know, just give me a chance. And I did this as a favor to Norm. I'm not an actor and I'm not a comedian.
This guy says your face looks like a cunt.
I can't even change that. It's not the first time I've heard that, but I mean.
But you know what? I didn't get you on this show because you're funny. That's clear.
Yeah, obviously.
I got it because you're a friend of mine, and we go a long way back. We have chemistry.
Exactly.
What they call chemistry, and that's irreplaceable on TV.
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time for us to build that chemistry.
We've known each other a long time.
A long time.
I met you when I was on Saturday Night Live doing the news segment.
Right.
And you were just a kid. You were, what
18,
were you?
19?
18, something like that. And I liked you right from the start, I'll tell you that. Because you had, you didn't have a lot going for you.
No.
But you had get up and go. You had grit.
Absolutely.
And you had gumption. And these are things that my dad always taught me to look for in a fella,
So to look for gumption.
Yeah, gumption and grit,
Of course.
You remember when we first met? Where we were? Remember where we were?
Yes, Carnegie Deli. I think at the Pastrana.
No, we were at Carnegie Deli, where I interviewed you for
Oh,
Saturday
you're
Night
right,
Live.
you're right. No, where did we first meet?
We first met, I met you underneath the Queensboro Bridge. You at the time were jerking off punks for $15 a man.
My whole family's watching, man. My grandmother.
Your family doesn't know that when you were a young man, you used to jerk off punks for $15 a man? What is a fucking podcast anyway?
It's originally, it was, I think, a broadcast that was initially intended to be downloaded onto people's iPods, so that's, call it a podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. You know what I don't understand? Why do we have all these cameras here?
Well, it's evolved. I mean, it started out that way, very simple, very punk attitude, do it yourself, and I think it's evolved. And people have video podcasts, all kinds of different podcasts now. But you're right, we have a huge staff
But
here.
I've been on people's podcasts.
Right.
Mark Maron.
Oh, yeah, great.
You go into his garage, it's just him with a microphone.
Right, yeah.
No overhead, nothing.
No.
Greg Fitzsimmons, same deal.
Yeah. Well,
Adam Carolla, same deal. You're always in a guy's garage, and it's just you and him.
Exactly. I think this adds a new dynamic. It's
but
pretty
this,
cool.
we have so many people.
Very
There's
elaborate,
like
yeah.
100 people working here.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what
Huge
I think
production.
that? It cuts into the overhead. That's why we're not seeing any money out of this.
I mean, I got paid. I got a check.
You got paid for this?
You didn't get a check?
I did not get a check. Who
I got a check.
paid you?
Daniel Kelson, our producer. He gave me a check last week.
You got a check from Daniel?
Yeah, I got it right here.
No way. Let me see that.
Yeah, right here.
Let me see this thing. It is from Daniel Kellison, paid to the order of Adam Eget for services rendered, $15. I'm sorry, folks. We'll be back with Tom Green. We are back on the podcast, and our guest with us, the hilarious Tom Green.
Hey, thanks.
How are you, Tom?
Good, I'm doing real good. Thanks for having me on the show.
So happy to have you.
Adam,
How are you? It's good to see you again.
You know Adam Egret?
Yeah, I know
Absolutely,
Adam from the Tempe Improv and the Comedy Store.
That's right.
What are you doing here?
I'm just helping Norm out.
Yeah.
Tom,
Some
that's
say
one of the first clubs when you made your triumphant return to stand-up. I believe Tempe was one of the first clubs you played. Wasn't
Absolutely, yeah. No, we had a great time out there, and
I remember you didn't. Wasn't that the time you you had everybody dressed as robots?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is true. Yeah, I thought it might be good to have kind of a hook to it. Come to the show, but if you haven't heard about the show yet, meet me on the corner in front of Subway, wrap tinfoil around your head, and we'll walk around Tempe, Arizona for a couple hours.
It was a blast.
Yeah, that was what I did the first weekend. I don't do that anymore.
As a matter of fact, when I first met you, you were dressed as a robot. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
you have such a good memory.
I do. Our very first time I met you was on the Regis show.
That's right.
It was in the dressing room of the Regis show, and I went on in a large, some sort of a robot costume.
Yeah. And I was confused at that time because everybody was telling me about Tom Green, and I mistakenly thought they said, you know, this guy Tom Green from Canada has a sketch show.
Yeah. You were thinking Red Green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, people would always ask, confused back.
Because Red Green was a more traditional, older kind of guy that had a kind of a lame show.
Yeah, and that show was
so
huge.
I was like, Red Green suddenly is broken?
Yeah, that show was huge in Canada and at that time. So, yeah, absolutely.
And there was another guy in Canada, I think Red Green, was a fisherman. Do you remember him?
Red Green?
I think it was. He'd bring out guys fishing every week.
Oh, okay, yeah. His name was Red Green, too. I used to like those shows. You do a lot of fishing growing up in Canada?
Oh, yeah. Salmon.
Salmon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And
you know what was a bad fish was rock bass, because they'd always have worms in them.
Yeah, rock bass, largemouth bass.
Yeah.
Smallmouth bass put up a bit more of a fight than the largemouth.
Is that right?
Yeah, if you know anything about
he
Canadian
knows.
Freshwater fish.
He doesn't know, but he knows a lot about smallmouth and largemouth.
Yeah. You learn that at the Comedy Store, when you
more
decide
under
who
the
gets to go on
Queensboro
stage
Bridge,
first.
but yeah.
So how do the other comics feel? Like you're at the Comedy Store, you're running the Comedy Store.
Exactly.
And they're all there working on their comedy, hoping to maybe someday break into television. And then all of a sudden there's this great new opportunity. Norm Macdonald starting his new live talk show, and he's looking for a co-host. Does he go down and look for the latest talent at the Comedy Store on stage? But no, he just ends up, the other comics kind of like,
yeah, they're not happy.
Yeah,
a lot of them are in my ear. They're like, you know what you should do? You should get me in there. You clearly don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're not happy about
Adam
it.
is very nervous about the whole venture.
I'm a wreck. I'm a fucking wreck.
No, I think it's hilarious.
He may start drinking.
No problem.
I probably will start drinking.
I just think that maybe a lot of people at the office might be pissed about this whole thing.
You would not be wrong.
Yeah.
Tom's drinking.
Yeah. It looks great.
Tom has drank for as long as I've known him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I drink, yeah. I'm starting to smoke, too.
You've started smoking?
I'm starting now. I'm just starting.
It's harder than you think. You should probably start with a patch.
Yeah. No, I actually started with the e-cigarettes.
Oh, did you really?
I was smoking those for the last couple of months.
I think you actually were.
Yeah, and then gradually built up sort of an addiction to the nicotine.
So you work backwards.
But it's not really, I don't know where I put my lighter. Does anyone got a light?
Yeah, I do.
I
do have a
shed
lighter.
the pounds, though.
Thank you. Here we go. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Adam. But,
that beer reminds me of an old-timey Canadian beer.
Like an old 50, like an old stubby 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stubby bottles. That's actually why when Daniel offered a beer, I thought, I'll have the stubby. Reminds you of the good old days.
How long have you been off booze?
About 10 months. 10 long months.
I know to smoke.
I'll smoke it for you. If you no, all right.
No, I'm trying to.
I just figured it would be rude not to offer you a light.
It's nice, but I'm trying not to. And I feel if I
Sitting there with a cigarette.
I feel if I took one puff. I have an oral fixation, my doctor tells me, which is not good.
How did he know that?
I was sucking his cock. I was sucking his cock. You're a friend of Andrew Dice Clay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Doesn't that seem an improbable friendship? Tom Green
and Dice? Yes.
Dice and I have really become very good friends.
Is that true?
Yeah, very good friends. I spent Thanksgiving at his house this year. I was over at his house. We hang out all the time. He lives near me. We go over. We go smoke cigarettes actually together. We go down, meet at the Starbucks, and we sit on the steps at the Starbucks and smoke cigarettes together.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a friendship that basically formed because of my Webovision show that I was doing in my living room. He came up to the house, did that. He started.
Tom invented this entire form.
Oh yeah, he invented pretty much everything that we know over the last 5 years. No, I'm dead serious. Is it true you invented planking? I hear. I didn't know this.
No, I didn't. There was an article in CNN that said that I invented planking, which was the craze last summer where everyone was lying down on their face.
Right.
And I had shot a video of myself doing that in '94. So
and you didn't even think it was a big thing.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a big deal. But so I got credited with that, inventing the shittiest thing ever. Am I allowed to swear on? Oh, can I swear?
You can swear.
Yeah,
Clearly.
it's good to get credit for things like that.
But seriously though, you had the show Tom Green's House.
Yeah, well, it was so much fun when you would come do the show all the time,
Yeah.
and it was amazing because when
Drink like crazy.
we built the studio in my living room, and you go, oh, geez, I wonder if I built a studio in my living room if Norm Macdonald would come over every time I asked him. And you did almost come over almost
Do you
every
remember
time.
the time I did the Tonight Show? Mm-hmm. With another guest was Pitbull.
Yeah, and then you brought Pitbull's band with you, and we sat up and did the whole show.
We did the show before the Tonight
the
Show.
same
went on.
lineup.
But that's the thing, right? Yeah, we had him on before the Tonight Show. That's what's amazing about this.
Pissed off there.
Isn't that is that what's exciting about this?
It's
for you?
exciting, but I feel like we're just a cheap Tom Green knockoff. Like you did it for how many years did you do that show?
I did for well, you know, it's web broadcasting. It's the future, man. Everyone's jumping in.
But you did it
I'm
in
doing
the
a pod-
past.
Yeah, that's true. I was just trying to basically find a way to build like a Johnny Carson show. You know,
Right,
that was all it was,
right.
or a David Letterman show. You
Right.
know, which would have been who I
Real
looked up
trend
to.
center. Like just you just started all these things. I was talking to Norm about this earlier, and I just feel like you picked up right where Andy Kaufman left
That's
off.
why they say the pioneers leave with the arrows in their back, right? Now I'm just smoking.
That's right. You
yeah?
got
That's
plenty
a
of
good
arrows in there. That's a great line.
You don't want to
You know,
you don't want to be,
I'm still doing my podcast. It's not like I stopped.
Tom, you don't want to
I'm
be
number 14 on iTunes right now.
Is that right?
Yeah. My new podcast is
Yes.
a radio show. You go to
I've read it.
iTunes podcast. I interview people.
Yes, I've heard it. It's
You've
hilarious.
done my podcast so many
You
times.
have interviewed me
I
10,
just-
15 times.
I wanted to I want you to come on again, and we'll talk
would
about
be
other
fun.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
this one's
yeah.
more radio though. It's just audio.
Yes,
and I
yes.
do it in a little radio studio.
You did a radio one with me once over
Yeah.
at the Smod Castle.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
That's right, yeah. This one's no audience. It's just in a little studio, so it's kind of more intimate. You have the headphones on.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
I
No,
like
but-
that better, actually.
Better than this fucking shit.
I've kind of, you know what? I like it better than doing it in my living room. I actually, it was driving me nuts. 5 years it's good that you didn't decide to do it in your garage or your living room. You don't want people coming over to your house all the time.
Well, it was absolute chaos at that house.
Yeah.
People wandering through your whole house, like, because a guest would come bring 10, 15 people, and then they'd just be.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun up there. We would
But it was still a
we would
living
often stay
house.
after the show too and just watch YouTube videos till 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know you love YouTube.
It was a good time. You're on YouTube here, right? This is YouTube?
This
Yeah,
is
this
it?
Yeah, it's YouTube.
It's Google.
Well, it's YouTube. Remember, that's where we got all those comments from.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently
it
we're
is
real-
YouTube.
Yeah.
Cunt face.
I got a YouTube channel also, youtube.com/Tom Green. So
YouTube, wait a minute, youtube.com
with the slash and then Tom Green.
/. Tom Green.
Yeah. And
Which
I'm
I think a slash does go that way. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I think it's a.
/.
Yeah, I think it is a backslash.
I never know what to call it. If it's
I have no
/.
idea.
You don't smoke comfortably.
I tell you, I'm new. I'm just starting.
Oh, you are starting. I can tell because I can smoke like perfectly. You know, I started
live.
smoking. I started smoking on purpose, deliberately, when I was a boy.
Why?
When I was 12 years old, nobody liked me and stuff. So I thought everybody will like me if I smoke. If I smoke.
Is that on Jasper?
That's right. He remembers everything.
We grew up in the same neighborhood
Oh, is that right?
in Ottawa, Canada, the suburb.
So I went behind this Max Milk, which is like the 7-Eleven
I know-
here, but
I
you
know
know
Max
Max Milk.
Milk, yeah.
Bought a pack of Export A, green Export A's.
Is that the one up on Shefford Road?
Yes, on
Yeah.
Shefford. Oh my God! So you'll be able to picture this perfectly. So I was behind there. I took a whole pack and I smoked the entire pack. Threw up and stuff, but I kept smoking. And I immediately became a chain smoker, like immediately. And I went back to school, and then everybody liked me.
Oh yeah.
It actually worked.
Yeah. I find that's why I'm starting actually.
To get-
Yeah, trying to
Get more
friends.
popular?
Yeah, absolutely. Looks cool.
It does look cool, and it gives you something to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I find if you're not doing anything, you're still smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Gives you
it's
time.
hard to just sit on a chair and not do anything, but you can sit on a chair
Well,
and
you
smoke.
look at me. That's what I do.
What's that?
I just sit on a chair and don't do anything.
Hey, what about the news?
Oh, right. So,
You know, you're supposed to do the news
Yeah, absolutely.
every time.
no, I mean, I do that best. I like to
We'll
sit
talk
around.
about
and then
do
we talk
nothing.
about the news stories.
You follow it pretty closely, the news?
The news, I think you follow it more closely than I follow it. Every time I read your blog, hey, what about last night? Dennis Rodman got a narrow. Do you watch Celebrity Apprentice anymore?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't watched much this season, but I know did he go back to
Is
North
your old
Korea?
pal,
Did he bring LaToya Jackson over to North Korea?
It is weird that he's both on the Celebrity Apprentice
Yeah.
and dealing with nuclear genocide.
Negotiating world peace and harmony, and trying to hold his
Isn't it
own
fun?
against.
Don't you find it funny with the news, Tom, that all of a sudden you read on the front of Yahoo, North Korea is starting a war with us.
Yeah,
Just out of nowhere.
They're instigating it.
Yeah.
They're actually saying.
And then you just hit another button.
Yeah.
You go to the next
they're
story.
starting it. They're just going to start it.
Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Really?
They're saying they're going to start it.
Are they going to get us?
It's funny how it all really, the rhetoric and the vitriol out of North Korea all started immediately after Dennis Rodman's visit, too.
I guess you're right.
He went over there to patch everything up, and the next day it's like, America is a boiled pumpkin waiting to be exploded. So let's see how his state-making abilities work out. No, that's cool. Dennis Rodman was really cool.
And then after he said that, all the starving people in South Korea, they said, boiled pumpkin, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Bomb it. Let's eat it. If anybody could solve the crisis in the world, crises in the world, I think Rodman could. He was a fun guy. I had fun with him. I like having on The Apprentice. The reason I got fired was because I went out drinking with Dennis Rodman on the night I was the project manager.
Right?
And
so it was suicide, though. You did it on purpose.
well, you know, I didn't think everybody would know that I went out drinking with Dennis Rodman all night, but I overslept my alarm, and then Jesse James called my hotel room because we had to go sell wedding dresses in a competition we were having against Joan Rivers. And Jesse James was really mad at me because I missed my alarm, and I had to explain, well, I went out drinking with Dennis Rodman last night. But if what Rodman goes through, what he went through with Kim Jong-un over there, if they had any sort of similar type of an experience that I had, I would think that could be something worthy of bringing our countries together. It's a good time hanging out with Rodman, that's all I'm saying. Obama, Kim Jong-un, Rodman, if they all went out together.
Yeah.
Go to Scores in New York or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
That's where Rodman took me. That was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
You guys had fun over at Scores? I could see that, Rodman.
The axis of fun.
You know, speaking of, you know what happened today? No, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, a drone, an actual drone flew over my house.
No.
In Los Angeles, a drone. It looked to me like a Scan Eagle drone, which would be a small, unarmed drone, not like the large Predator drone,
Right.
Small drone, flew right over my house. I was standing outside on the deck. My friend tapped me, pointed. I looked up. It was flying right over my head. I reached for my camera. Before I could get the camera, it went off right behind the tree. No video evidence, but it actually happened.
Wow.
Jesus.
And I just think, what is happening to this world we're living in now? We're living in some sort of a surveillance society here. What do you think of that? Do you believe me, first of all? Do you believe me?
I believe you, yes.
Because a lot of people,
Because
when I
you
tell
always
them this, they
the
look at
truth.
me like I'm making it up or like it's a joke. It
No,
was an
because
actual
that's a
drone.
possibility. But
Yeah.
No, I believe that we probably should go with it and just have no privacy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we do have any as it is. Like, what if we put a chip inside everybody? How could there be crime?
Right.
You put a chip inside every child. How could a child ever get abducted?
But don't you want to have the freedom to be able to commit the occasional little crime?
Have you ever shoplifted?
When I was younger, I did a couple of times.
That's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
God damn.
Shouldn't we as human beings have the freedom to flirt with a little adrenaline rush like that once in a while?
God.
As long as nobody gets hurt?
You know what? The first time I ever shoplifted, and this is maybe my proudest moment. Quick, you know, I as a quick thinker, I went to a store. We were like 7 or 8 years old. Me and my friend Sean Kay and Randy Majerison, right? So we called it hawking at the time. So I went in.
I said you gave out their full names so the cops can know where to go.
Statute of limitations.
Yes.
So I went in. I stole my thing. Then Randy Majerison did. He stole his thing, right? I stole a candy bar, a coffee crisp.
Yeah.
And anyways, wouldn't you know it, Sean Kay doesn't steal anything. He cowards out. So we beat him up, and then the lady from the shoe store catches us. And then anyways, Sean Kay goes, he's a big blabbermouth, he goes and tells his parents. And I get home, and my dad and mom call me in. My dad's real mad, you know, and my dad was a serious guy, you know. And I was scared, right? And he's like, I knew I was going to get a beating. So I thought quickly, right? And I was like, no, I bought that coffee crisp, I said to my dad. I bought it, and I said, we can go back there right now and ask that lady, and she'll remember. That's how fast I thought. Yeah. So we went back, and I was just telling him, so we went back, and we asked the lady, and she didn't remember. But my, my dad believed me because I was so sure.
So confident.
So confident in myself.
Yep.
One of the proudest things I've ever done.
Great chocolate
I know,
bar.
it's weird. The coffee crisp was great.
No, that's it was that quick thinking you were able to. Yeah. There's something about the adrenaline, right? My friends.
Of shoplifting?
Yeah, my friends in school in the 8th grade. That was the thing, to go up to the mall at lunch. The
Yeah.
Beacon Hill Mall.
The Beacon Hill
To
Mall.
the Zellers.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Also, when you shoplift, it's fun if you're leaving the store and you spot the guy spotting you, and then right before you leave, you just toss it down. And
Nice.
you laugh at the guy. Because they kind of trail you, you know.
There's nothing they can with that.
And then they,
You've done a lot of stuff over the years, like adrenaline-wise, and you've done some stunts, and you're.
Oh my God!
No, I don't mean like not like.
Daniel thinks that's the lamest segue ever.
This isn't news. I genuinely want to know.
Yeah, I thought we were doing news. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
We've
What I
talked
think-
about all my stuff before, you know.
Yeah, Tom has been
Yeah.
interviewed so
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah.
He was on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
I remember that
20
in
years ago.
2008. No.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So he's been asked every question. You think
Yeah,
you're going to
talk
come up
about
with a
it
new
all.
one?
I heard a story that I had never heard before, and I thought it was hilarious.
So the Slutmobile?
No, I love the Slumobile.
talk about
I
that a lot.
watched that.
This is a
like
story
crazy.
no one knows?
I like this.
I'd never heard it before, and
I
I've
like
seen
that we
every
can just
episode of the Tom Green
Have
Show.
a conversation here.
So this was about you and some buddies were sharing a hotel room, and it involved an adult video, and you editing. Do you remember the story?
Yeah.
Have you told that one a lot? Because I was dying laughing at it.
No.
So
Who are you, Brian Linehan? There you go. There's a coffee crisp. This is the Canadian inside joke special.
This will do very well in Ajax.
Yeah.
Where Tom is playing.
it's a funny story.
Brian Linehan's did a lot of research. Canadian interviewer. Sort of like our Barbara
I'm no
Walters.
Brian Lanahan,
Yeah.
but
He was sort of like, the James Lipton guy.
oh,
We were
geez.
driving across the country in a used Ford Econoline van that we borrowed off of a kid on the internet who said that it was his grandfather's van who'd recently passed away. Let us take the van to drive across the country. Had a little video monitor system in it. We drove from Ottawa. We were trying to drive from Ottawa to Vancouver, and
Long drive.
by the time we got to Thunder Bay, we were living in this
Port
van.
Huron.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Port Huron and Port
yeah.
Arthur.
Yeah, Capus Casing up in that area.
Yeah.
We would all sleep in the van, but then once we had in our budget, once a week we'd get a hotel and we'd shower and someone would sleep in it. So it was 3 guys sleeping in a van. We were basically on top of each other, all in our early 20s. And we started getting very giddy. We had a lot of adrenaline, excitement just because we were filming, but we also realized after a few days that we were also giddy because none of us had been jacking off, basically, because we'd been sleeping in this van together. And that was like the first time any of us, I think, had gone 3 days without jacking off.
That's impressive.
So we get to this hotel. The guys say they're going to go get some dinner in town. I say, you guys go ahead and get dinner. I'm going to stay in the hotel. I rented the porn in the hotel. This was before internet and all that, right? Was there, so you couldn't watch porn on the internet. Rented the porn on the TV internet, set the camera up, filmed the porn on the TV on our little videotape, on our little Hi8 videotape. And then when my friends came back from dinner, I had a little note that said, guys, if you ever need to, work off some of the, we called it whacker's giddiness. We were suffering from whacker's giddiness.
Right.
If you ever need to work off some of the whacker's giddiness, take the video monitor, drive out and do a wheat field somewhere and put the tape in and do your thing, right? So the next day, sure enough, the morning comes, the van's gone. My friend's gone in the van. And he comes back like maybe half an hour later, and he's got a sort of angry look on his face, but he's laughing because he had taken the van out and put the tape in and started to do his thing. But what I hadn't told him was like a minute into the tape, I lean into the camera and I'm like, give him a thumbs up. Right around the time he would have been blowing his wad, right? So we had a good laugh about that.
You told the story on the Tonight Show.
Did I really? I don't think I have. How did you know that story?
A friend told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that
hilarious.
those stories get around. Kind of disgusting that people are talking about that, actually.
I love the idea of an aging wheat farmer going through his crops.
Yeah, find some guy beaten off in a van. Lucky we weren't arrested. We were never arrested doing that stuff.
You taped like you would get a bootleg copy of a movie in Times Square. This was like a tape of a porno that you had
Yeah.
taped.
Yeah.
That's very clever.
Yeah, we were bootlegging.
See, even then, ahead of your time. Always ahead of your time. Always.
I don't know.
This guy loves you, man.
Well,
This is cool. So the news, we're going to talk about
That's
the news.
what I
so
thought.
we have business news. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg is facing a $1 billion tax bill this year. Now that's
He pays $1 billion in taxes?
in tax. That's a lot of money.
Good problem to have, right,
Yeah,
Tom?
that's not bad.
God damn.
Absolutely. $1 billion.
$1 billion, that's more than my dad made in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This guy's carping about that. How old is this guy?
I don't know. I think he's in his mid-20s, maybe. I have to look
damn.
that up.
And most of these, I feel these rich kids are unknown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's known because of that movie.
Yeah.
But I think most of them. I think that these super billionaire guys keep themselves unknown, so we don't find out and go to their house.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
He's
you?
probably not the real, he's just sort of like the, there's much bigger billionaires.
You think
than
there's
these
bigger
guys?
guys?
Oh, I think they're living on an island somewhere.
Yeah.
They're just running everything.
Because when you hear about it, how much money the richest guys have,
Yeah.
nobody. I mean, I know Sandler. He doesn't have nearly that much money. You know what I mean? And he's the richest guy, and he's super rich.
Yeah, if you had, you probably don't want to make a big show.
No.
Yeah, they probably have the cure for cancer. They're probably selling all the drugs that we're all taking, all the drugs. They're selling all that
Yeah,
stuff. They
yeah.
got all the cures. They're living on an island.
Oh,
Some of them are
well,
probably,
those are the motherfuckers that fucking introduced crack into my neighborhood last month.
Do you have a crack problem?
Well,
in the
now I
neighborhood?
do, because
Really?
those fuckers introduced crack into the neighborhood.
Really?
And what they don't tell you about crack is, god damn, it's good.
Yeah. Where in your neighborhood there's a crack
Yeah,
in?
it's huge
So
crack
you can just
problem.
step out the front door now and there's a crack readily available now?
Well, I sell it.
Yeah.
But I'm using so much of it now.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting fat.
Yeah. Well,
I don't quite understand.
How is that even possible?
I don't know.
I was going to ask
I have
you
to
that.
talk to a gastroenterologist.
you don't have any now, do you? Any crack now?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Well,
smoked
after
it
you
all.
do it for a while, you do not share.
Yeah.
I learned that one the hard way.
You go, I'm out. But meanwhile, you're not out, and you do everyone else's crack with them.
Yeah.
And then you sneak off into the bathroom and do your own crack.
Right. Yeah, just good idea.
That's morphine's good too. There's one called crocodile. Have you ever heard of crocodile?
No, I haven't. In international news, the experts are now saying that Kim Jong-un is not actually capable of reaching Middle America, but that he's actually just trying to scare his own country and make them ready for war.
Okay, you know what? We should go away. And then when we come back, Tom, we're going to get people from the. Remember at your show?
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah?
Skype?
Oh, good. Really?
Yeah.
You take calls live?
Take
Oh, yeah.
calls
Nice, I love
live
that.
for Tom Green.
Oh, good, yeah,
So if you got a
absolutely.
call for Tom Green, call in right now.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
about
We'll see you
10
guys.
people waiting to call me a douchebag.
We have returned to Norm Macdonald Live on the Video Podcast Network, where we have the great Tom Green as our guest. We couldn't be happier. And we're going to take calls from you, the viewer.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
How does that work?
Basically, the questions are going to come up on the screen here, and I'm going to prompt you. You're going to read the question. It'll be for.
right,
Do
well,
we
let's
see them as well? Will we
Yeah,
see
I
the
believe
people?
Well, there's one video call.
The video?
The rest
Yeah.
are comments from Twitter and YouTube.
Okay.
So we're going to have one video caller.
Okay, well, come on. Do
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
Man.
Well, the first question. Let's go to that first question, shall we?
A question for Tom Green.
Okay, this is cool.
All
Oh, there
right.
we go.
Norm, well, this should be for Tom Green. What do you think about your new spiffy set?
Well, that's what I was wondering, actually, because I watched your first episode from
did?
last week,
It's all weird, right?
but the set was different. You already changed the set?
Yeah, we changed it.
There was clocks and everything. and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
really
that guy
cool.
mentioned
So
it
Daniel
earlier.
said this will make it funny.
Yeah. Why was the decision to change the set based on a comment from a viewer?
Yeah, the comment earlier.
read
He
why
thought
there's
the
so many
clocks
clocks?
were distracting.
But you know, I always
Changed the whole thing because of one comment?
I notice on talk shows when they panic, they change the set.
Yeah, but after the very first
Yeah,
episode?
usually no. But I did Pat Sajak show. This was years ago.
Yeah.
Every time I went, I'd walk through the curtain and be a different thing.
Yeah.
And then, first it was a traditional set. Next time it's a round table.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and there'd be like 30 people in the audience. He couldn't even draw at the end of the time a full. But he was a great man, Pat Sajak, and I loved him.
So what was the reason then to change to this? Was there actually a reason to change the clocks?
I think it was blind panic on the part of Adam Egret.
Yeah.
But why was there panic? It was a great first
Well,
episode.
if you read some of the comments, I mean, they weren't all about me being a douchebag. It was 99% I'm a douchebag and have a face that looks like a cunt.
That you got to
and then
understand
1%.
about, if I can say anything, if I can interject here and say anything about having been on the internet for years.
Basically, on this show, you have to interject with this fucker.
Yeah, if I could just interject briefly here. No, but you can't let the trolls run your life, man. They're going to say something. The better you are on this show, the worse they're going to come down on you.
Right.
It's jealousy.
That's very true.
They're
and if
jealous
you
of
learned
your-
how to interview, he wouldn't have to fucking interject.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to call Glenn Humplink after the show.
Yeah.
I got to get some advice on sidekicking.
Yeah. But if someone emails, and some troll could say, hey, we like the clocks better. Will the clocks be back
Oh,
next
yeah,
week?
absolutely. They'll be back.
That'd be
in a
pretty
heartbeat.
funny. You could have some pretty fun with you guys.
I think this is a
Out
good
there
idea.
online?
We should do that,
Sort of-
actually.
Let's do another question.
Oh, we got
Is that
another
the only
question. No, here we go.
There's a troll right there. That is
Can Tom do a barrel roll?
That is an internet troll right
That's a
there.
troll.
That was one of my trolls when we had the phone in on my show, and a group of merry pranksters out there decided it would be fun to flood our phone system with people only asking my guests to do a barrel roll, which became quite frustrating because we just wanted
Yes,
to have.
I was asked that
conversation.
once on Tom's show.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, almost. I mean, a great percentage of your callers were trollers,
Yeah.
but I think it was because of you.
Yeah,
because you are also a troller.
I used to call into CFRA, into the Lowell Green show,
Oh, my God.
and prank the show on the local radio station when I was a kid.
Lowell Green was you love to hate him kind of guy.
Oh, right.
And you'd call in, I'd just call in, I'd skip school sometimes, so I could call in, leave a stupid comment, and record it on an audio cassette, and then play it back for all my friends. And so when I started the web show, I thought, well, I got to give the youth of today on the internet the opportunity to call in and say something really stupid to one of my guests or whatever.
You're paying back.
But now they're still following me here.
Yeah, look at that.
I actually
So
now...
don't reward them. Go to the next
Yeah,
one.
It's
we're
an
gonna go to the
interesting
next
thing
one.
about trolling and memes. That's called a meme, is what it is. When I'm traveling around doing stand-up now, occasionally people will come up to me on the street and ask me to do a barrel roll.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's just a little thing that people have really kind of latched onto.
How do you
In
deal
my
with
world.
it on the street? You just...
No, you just go, oh yeah, you're talking about that thing.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
this thing,
How do you think he deals with it?
I don't know.
Are you going to the next
Yeah,
one?
let's go to the next question. Norm, did you ever worry that dirty work was too good?
I don't know. I don't know what these questions mean. Is there another one? I thought we had
Let's
a,
go to that.
a
Let's
person's
skip that
face.
one. When is the Golf Channel going to invite you as a color commentator?
I don't know what these questions mean.
They're asking you.
They're
when
asking
go-
you.
Live caller.
Yeah.
Well, we have a live
Yeah,
caller.
let's go to the live caller then.
Because I don't understand these questions.
Have you ever thought of doing color commentary on the Golf Channel?
No.
You would be great at
Yeah,
that.
he would
though.
be great.
You know everything
likes
there
to-
is, every little detail.
I
about
do
the
know a
sport.
lot about that.
I've seen
oh,
the
here's
Twitter.
the person.
There's a question. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, how's it going? Where are we looking?
We're looking right here, man.
Yeah.
It's a dude. This reminds me of your place when
Yeah.
you did this.
Look at that.
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Absolutely.
That's what they always said at my place too. And then you'd spend about a minute trying to figure out if it was working. And then by the time you figured out it was working, you'd realize that the guy calling didn't really have much to say. And then you'd hang up on him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Don't hang
exactly
up on me.
what's
No,
gonna
no, no.
happen right now.
We're all from Ottawa, actually. We all in that area. So when you guys were talking about the Max Milk, it's like a Hasty Mart now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my question, Tom, for you was, I saw your stand-up act, and you had a joke about Neil Armstrong, how he wasn't on Oprah. Now, was that because the astronauts were conditioned that if they were asked questions about the moon, they would feel pain? Or, was maybe the moon landing fate? Was Stanley Kubrick have a hand in that? I mean, The Shining could be, there's a bunch of hits in that, so I'm just...
Interesting that you
What
saw
do you
me
think?
talk about that, because you must have seen that live somewhere in Ottawa,
It's at
possibly.
Center Point. Actually, I saw both you guys at Center Point.
Yeah, well,
Oh, it's center point in the pin.
yeah, I was just posing a question. I remember I talked about that once. Why was Neil Armstrong never on Oprah?
Uh-huh.
Seems a little suspicious. Maybe we never put a man on the moon.
Oh, I see.
That's all I'm saying.
What do you think? I mean, they had 2 billion people watching TV. Do you think that could have been like a propaganda? And do you think they could have used that same technique for different events?
Well, if you're asking me seriously if I believe that the moon landing is real, I do believe that we put a man on the moon. I don't think that is...
No, of course.
That is a fake thing at all. So what's the question?
Well, is the moon landing that we saw different from people going to the moon? I'm not saying, I think I'm the same way as you. I think we've been to the moon. I just don't think the moon landing was what it was shown to us. I mean, do you think...
No, I think it was exactly what they showed us. JFK assassination, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's different. That's a guy getting shot in the head.
Yeah.
One guy lands on the moon.
Look at Time magazine.
Yeah.
Other guy gets murdered in
You
the
want to
car.
talk about conspiracy theories? That seems a little fishy to me.
But you have a weird
Oh, I'm sorry.
conspiracy theory. You think it's suicide, you told me.
Yeah.
That was odd.
Yeah.
I've never heard
I've
that.
yet to hear that one. I've heard many conspiracy theories about JFK.
Yeah, it's sort of an elaborate theory.
Oh, sure.
It's highly orchestrated suicide.
Absolutely.
But you do enough crack and you listen to this guy, it starts making sense.
Keep using it all.
Well, we're going to come back and we have jokes. I have a whole bunch of them.
You got plenty of jokes.
When we come back, we'll read some jokes.
Oh, great. Cool.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
We're back, and we're going to do some jokes. You like jokes?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We're just going to do them here. This Easter Sunday, here, you want to read this one time?
Yeah.
This seems like more of your kind of joke. You can do it in the camera if you want, whatever you want to do.
This Easter Sunday, Snoop Dogg gets to say, Christ is risen.
You want to do a joke?
Sure.
This is going into the camera.
We wear new clothes on Easter to represent Christ's triumphant appearance to the stunned apostles in his sharp two-button blazer by Hugo Boss. What the fuck?
I don't know about that one. The guy who did the voice of Charlie Brown, he was arrested for stalking his girlfriend this week. He also said the next time Lucy grabs away the football, he's going to cut that bitch.
You guys read one? Yeah. President Obama continues to shamelessly wage class warfare. Today he announced a steep new tax on shiny top hats.
Oh,
Here you go.
Oh, you read that one.
No, go. Let's look at the camera, man.
Some folks say, what this country needs is a good 5-cent cigar. I'm guessing they're opposing Obamacare. Give me the shitty fucking show. I'm gonna
Here's one.
butcher them anyway. You might as well.
I don't know if this counts as an NCAA Cinderella story, but one of the Marquette players said he had help making his uniform from a bunch of singing mice and birds. I think this is perfect for Tom Green. Tom Green just reading ahead.
Yeah. I read a story. A 17-year-old kid who stole a plane, crashed it, and survived. Why don't we make the whole plane out of that kid? That seems logical, right?
Makes sense, right? There you go. Adam Eget.
Warning to the Easter Bunny: don't put all your eggs in one basket, fella. You handpick these.
I do feel like I'm getting the good ones here.
I think so.
They say the world's a smaller place than it used to be, but I think that's an optical illusion based on me becoming a big fat guy. Here's one that's good for you. I think.
Growing up, I never would have believed that one day I'd need a computer just to masterbate.
It is strange when you think about it. Though.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
Right? Remember, you used to need nothing like
Yeah.
that.
Sears catalog.
Sears catalog, maybe.
National Geographic.
Exactly.
A van in the woods.
And sometimes you go, why am I looking at the bra section of Sears catalog? I'm not in the market for a bra. But, you know. Here you go. Try a joke.
I'm sure
Adam
my
Eget's-
parents wondered why those were always piled up in my room, the brassiere
Yes.
section. rolled up into balls under the bed. Soggy balls of paper. Soggy balls of newsprint.
Hey, speaking
lying
of
around
balls,
the house.
John Hamm has a big dick. That's it. Oh no, wait. John Hamm has a big dick. I could have told you that, but I don't suck and tell.
Okay. A Swedish Bond girl, Britt Eklund, told Piers Morgan this week that she was seduced by Warren Beatty after the legendary Lothario took her to an X-rated movie for their first date. This is what I have to say about that. Hey, Warren, stop stealing my moves.
That's my favorite this week.
Unbelievable. Oh, I think you'll like this one. I'm giving Tom the best ones.
That is your move, by the way.
Thank you. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but I invented the light bulb up my ass.
Always ahead of his time.
Oh, come on, man. Oh,
Come on, man.
Doing jokes.
Come on, it's fun doing jokes.
Yeah.
It's the delivery. You're getting better.
Octomom is facing jail time for committing welfare fraud. Who didn't see that one coming? I mean, seriously, a single mother of 8.
Is that even a joke?
They're your joke, fucker.
I am not a big fan of video games where you cannot kill a prostitute. I like the ones where...
Oh, like Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
That was the hook for that game. That's really what people
Really
got
was.
excited about.
Yeah,
Throw the
there's
girl
no doubt
over
about
the-
it.
Inevitably, somebody would always say, you know, the great thing is you can drive down this alley and you can kill a prostitute.
That was the thing people talked about most at that game.
That's why that game took off.
I agree.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
What a...
We are a messed up...
Oh, this is perfect
society.
for you.
I don't know if my mom would let...
No, that's not what it means. You're just thinking of the Canadian translation of
What is the Canadian translation?
of that. That's not a mother.
No, what's your old lady in
That-
Canada?
your old lady. No, in America, your old lady is like your.
Well, I
your
definitely
girlfriend.
can't read it now.
Okay. Here, you can read it.
The thing I miss most about the 70s is rolling a number and giving my old lady some head.
You fucking hate out your mother?
No, not my old lady. Shit, I guess it does kind of.
That's what I thought. That's why I passed the card to you.
Oh, fuck.
Celebrating April 1st birthdays. This is a sort of news thing. Russian pianist Sergei Rachmaninoff, who was born on this day in 1872.
Yeah, I know that dude.
Rapper Method Man is 41. Debbie Reynolds turns 80 today. Rachel Maddow is 39. And former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt would have been 95 today. April Fools. Former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt is alive and well. We got to do an April Fools, right? Oh my God, Tom. What about this one, Tom?
I love Lou Gehrig, but I'm not going to stand up in front of 1 million people and brag that I'm the luckiest man in the world because some doctors named a disease after me. Confidence is one thing, but arrogance is the worst disease of them all.
I agree with that.
I also agree with that. It's funny and true. One day, in the hopefully not too distant future, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is going to hear a loud popping sound. The sound of his head coming out of his own ass.
A Miami, Florida pimp is in custody after forcing a 13-year-old prostitute to have his name tattooed on her eyelids when she threatened to run away from him. Roman Thomas III faces charges of human trafficking, false imprisonment, lewd and lascivious exhibition, and delivery of a controlled substance to a child. You know, I know the scriptures say, judge not lest ye be judged, but you know, I'm just going to come out and say it. This Roman Thomas III guy, this guy's a real jerk. Yeah, it's fun doing jokes.
Yeah.
For you.
I used to think revenge was a dish best served cold, But then I realized it meant getting back at somebody.
I like that one. There you go. Let's do it. Let's do it funny.
This one's like two pages long and cut off at the end.
Come on, man. Do your best. Give it your
But
best.
it's not even complete.
Give it your
All
best
right.
shot, man.
Troubled starlet Lindsay Lohan had a cameo on Anger Management last week and managed to shock the cast and crew by showing up on time and even early. Later in the week, the Mean Girls actress was looking decidedly chipper as she posed on the red carpet at a clothing store launch in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Perhaps Lindsay is getting a jump start on her upcoming mandatory 90-day rehab, or maybe bartenders are just asking her to land someplace else, knowing the way liquor cuts off.
Fuck are you talking about? Okay.
Cuts off, really?
I'm trying to help him
I
out.
forgot how the end went.
Hey.
It cut off.
Hey. That's the most important part, usually.
course.
Tell the guy to put it
That's
on
where
the
you're
fucking
supposed to-
card.
Hey, news media, leave Kim Kardashian alone, will you? She's pregnant. Of course she's gonna gain weight. And if anyone knows about rapid weight gain, it's me. You know, I went to see the doctor about it, and he told me to open my mouth and say oink. I thought that was a little out of line, Tom. Here's a historical one for Tom Green.
I think enough time has passed since 1947 where I can safely admit it. I wish I was the guy who finally wiped that annoying smirk off the Black Dahlia's face.
Oh, here's the rest of that joke. Adam Eget finishing off the joke.
Makes her fly. Note, you know I can understand why someone in show business would want to drink liquor to soothe and steady her nerves. Why some people I know I drink liquor and get so steady they can't even move.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's get back to Tom.
You wrote all these, Norm, or you sit up and write all these, or? Music is the universal language, but one day soon it will be replaced by Chinese.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel the same way about slaves as I do about shirts with flame patterns on them. I don't want to be friends with anyone who owns either of them.
Another funny and true one.
Here is a good one.
Okay. Mickey Mantle knew two things: drinking and playing drunk baseball.
This is the one that you said you specifically liked.
Why doesn't Applebee's call their appetizers appletizers? And why doesn't that waitress I met at TGI Fridays ever call me back?
He said he liked it.
I kind of did like that one.
This administration is cutting back drastically on military spending, but doesn't think our defense capabilities will be compromised? How so? I'll tell you how so. Groupons. Remember Groupons?
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember Groupons.
Here's one you'll like. I think you'll like it.
A worldwide scientific study confirms a long-held suspicion. No one anywhere likes drum circles. That is some wild stuff.
That was pretty good.
Really good.
That is wild.
That was a pretty good impression. Oh, here you go.
I realize now I should have been reading them all with that voice.
Fucking asshole.
Adam Eget with a joke.
Justin Bieber's monkey has been quarantined, which reminds us how far we've come since headlines about Pearl Harbor and D-Day. You literally handed me every joke I hated.
That was more of a comment,
Yeah.
really. In the coffee shop line today, I hear the guy behind me say, I like to start by biting the ears off. And I had to pray, please, God, let him be talking about a chocolate Easter bunny. Oh, okay. Well, this one you said you loved too, so you can't say you didn't say you loved these jokes.
This one I did. I think you should do this one.
No,
because
you loved
I'm gonna
it.
butcher it. This is a.
Nah,
this
come
one
on,
deserves
man. You
your-
love these jokes. You do these. I'm going to give you the three last
no,
jokes.
No, I'm not doing three.
Come on, man.
All right. Earlier this week, Aaron Jackson of Topeka, Kansas, painted his house the colors of the Gay Pride rainbow flag in direct protest of the Westboro Baptist Church. When that didn't seem to work, Jackson fucked 3 of his best buds on his front lawn.
Homophobic.
Yeah.
Well, I think it shows
Earlier he
solidarity.
was racist, and now he's homophobic.
Well, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it shows solidarity. All right, this next one. That's fine.
What are you afraid of?
It's almost like it's a test. Like if you laugh, then you're an asshole or something like that.
Right, exactly. If you laugh at him,
Yeah, at that joke, at that particular
yeah.
joke. It's like
Okay,
a test. You're testing me.
it's always a test with this fucker. But what's the next one?
This next one here, it says, Chipotle has canceled its planned sponsorship of the Utah Boy Scout event due to the BSA's ban on gay leaders and scouts. Ironic how an all-male anti-gay organization would want to put hot, thick loads of beef and sour cream in their mouth.
Okay. We get the idea. You hate gay guys. Let's just do the last one. Jesus Christ.
This one, it's former Tennessee Titans cheerleader Elizabeth Lee Garner, 42, is accused of pulling a 12-year-old boy's pants off and offering him oral sex. The boy refused her advances not because he was 12, but because he was a die-hard Colts fan.
This is what I have to work with, you know? I mean, we're going to get in trouble for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I thought they were...
I mean, you know what I mean? Gay people, this is the... It's funny, when I see, like, on TV, a guy, I just go, how out of touch are you? Not him, but him too. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like some governor will go, I'm against gays. You go, what? Like, just pretend you're not against them. Like, don't you understand?
Yeah, what do you think about this whole controversy with Jim Carrey and his cold, dead hand Charlton Heston video that he did for Funny or Die and his railing against Fox News and the national gun debate? No, we don't have to talk about that.
Well, I mean, I think that Jim Carrey, I don't know, I think he's the funniest guy ever.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey. But well, I don't really know the story, but I know they came after him real hard.
Yeah, they're
right?
coming after him hard right now, and it's weird watching them go after Jim Carrey because it's like sort of seems like what he said sort of makes some certain amount of sense, right? Yeah.
Well,
What
kind
did he say?
of.
I don't know. I didn't see the video.
Right, he's just railing on Fox News right now, and Greg Gutfeld went online today and was railing back at Jim Carrey, and there's this whole war between Greg Gutfeld and Jim Carrey, and it's just...
See, Tom knows all the
It's
internet
upsetting to me.
news.
It's upsetting to me.
I should know.
You know, these things can spiral though. These little video moments,
Right.
these clips.
I should have...
You know, it's on the internet now. Everything you say here is on the internet on a
Tom's
permanent
absolutely
record.
right. I really should have... I should have considered that before choosing some of these jokes.
Gay people are just like me and you.
I know.
How many times do I have to tell you that?
Well, you tell me that all day. How I'm just like all the gay people.
Gay people are the same as everybody.
No, you mean you always tell me specifically how I think you're just calling me gay. It's one of the.
It's not an insult. He thinks it's an insult.
No, I didn't mean it.
Why would being gay be an insult?
Yeah.
I love gay people.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's the end of the show.
Listen, man, we want to thank Tom Green for being with us. It was awesome.
This was amazing.
Tom,
This was exciting.
I can't believe you were actually my guest.
Oh,
So
man, it
good
was
to see
a
you
true
again.
honor to be here on your first week of shows. And,
Absolutely.
to tell some jokes with you was really
The jokes were fun.
lifelong dream for me. So thanks a lot, Norm, for having me.
And then, I like that the guest doesn't have to think up funny stuff. You just hand him a joke.
Yeah, no, it's much easier. Absolutely, very accommodating of you.
Now,
guys.
Tom, where are you going to be? Are you on the road still? You're
Yeah,
always
I'm
on the
going.
road.
Oh yeah, we're live. So I'm going to Winnipeg, Canada, this coming weekend. Then I'm going to be in Wisconsin, Appleton. Rumors in Winnipeg. Then I'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin. Then I'm going to Toronto area to Ajax, and then I'm going to New Zealand. You're worldwide, right? I'll be in New Zealand for a few weeks. So.
That's so cool.
Fantastic.
That's great.
So catch him. If you ever have a chance to see Tom Green live in a stand-up situation, he's fantastic. You got to watch him.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, tune in next week on Monday, every Monday, 6 p.m. to the Video Podcast Network. And I don't think we have our guest next week, but stay tuned for that. And rate and review us on iTunes. And also check out my good friend Don Barris and the Big Three podcast, also on the Video Podcast Network.
Amazing. And my podcast as well.
Yeah,
on,
what
Tom,
about
of course.
on iTunes.
Tom, of course.
Tom Green Radio,
Apologies.
it's called. It's in,
I thought he was going to say that.
yeah, Tom
I
Green Radio.
apologize.
Yeah, it's okay.
See you next week.